Like on cue, welcome to another Texas Rangers recap by SwingBadder, and I would love to say we don't know why the Texas Rangers are getting a recap on SwingBadder, but I'm afraid we know why SwingBadder is talking about them. We certainly, at the beginning of the season, when we were picking teams and who was going to do good, Texas Rangers were on everyone's list. Nobody thought the Texas Rangers are going to have a bad year. They thought last year was the bad year. This is the good year. And they have the pitching, they have the hitting, they have all this stuff. And now we get to find out, how did they do last week?
This week can be compared to like the stock markets a little bit. We can say that there was a little bit of signs of a decline starting last week, over the past 2 weeks, when we saw that the pitching couldn't actually carry the team the whole season. And now we're starting to see the drop-off, and now it's all coming crashing down. The Rangers are now sitting very comfortably in 4th place in the AL West, 4 games behind the Mariners, who started off the season pretty rough, if you remember. And they're also behind the A's and the Astros, who I predicted would play very badly this season, but they both are above 500, which is a slap in the face, insult to injury, add insult to injury.
Well, the Mariners, who are playing great baseball right now, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and they have really just started to pull themselves away from everyone, which is the exact bad time to be the Texas Rangers, who are having the worst. They were 3-7 in the last 10. They made my Batter 5 list on Batter Sports in my article. You wrote an article about the Texas Rangers, and the one thing that I want to note is the Rangers are not terrible from a runs perspective. The runs allowed are not the best. They're not the worst, 131, but they haven't scored. They're second to last in the least amount of runs scored. But then the biggest thing that I see is there's 2 teams with negative run differential that have winning records, the Cleveland Guardians and the Sacramento Athletics. And both of them are in the 20s, so that gives me hope for Texas. I don't think those 2 teams are going to stay up there, but I also don't think Texas is going to hit like this. But I swear we talked about Texas not hitting like this a week ago. And they're still hitting like this.
So back to the stock market example, we're going down, but the most recent game they played against the Mariners, they scored 8 runs. They beat them 8-1. DeGrom pitched very well, and they're making a lot of offensive changes. They fired their hitting coach. They DFA'd Leo Taveras. They're calling up Evan Carter from the minors. They promoted Berger to AAA. So they're making a lot of moves, making a lot of changes. And now that Seager's back from the IL, they have the Smith-Seager-Langford lineup, which is something that they've only had like 2 or 3 times this season. And in all 3 of those games, their offense scored like 5+ runs. So while it may seem pretty bleak right now, especially with the run differential, the runs scored, and their position in their division right now, I think there's definitely a lot of bright spots.
That was
There's
a huge
hope
win against Seattle. That 8-1 win.
That was massive.
They needed it. I mean, if you think about it, if Seattle beats them, I think they're 9-1 in their last 10, and then the Texas Rangers are 2-8.
And they would have been swept by the Mariners, division rival, and they've always played bad against them.
And it was a really needed win. I know it's very early in the season. We're going to look back and go, man, that was the turning point. These moves. Do you like the hitting coach that they hired? Did you see who they hired?
I do not know who they hired. I have not seen that. All I've really seen is that they fired their old hitting coach, and of course that was something that Grandpa predicted would happen to try and make the fans happy, and it certainly has made me happy.
I think they hired Brett. Hold on. Brett Boone is named the Rangers hitting coach.
Yes, Brett Boone. Do we know anything about this guy?
Brett Boone. There's a lot of baseball stats about Brett Boone. They're looking for a spark, which is why they did this, per Grandpa, like you said. As we
can't recall if they hired him after they scored 8 runs or before they scored 8 runs, because if it was afterward, it's a little odd.
I think it all happened like afterwards, but I also think it lines up with the other mix-ups that you're looking at, the demotions, the promotions. I think it's just one of those things that when your team is going through the rut as long as they did, you expect a 3-game rut, a 4-game rut, maybe an 8-game rut, but this has been going on for the season. Like, you don't score, like, literally the Rockies and the Texas Rangers are in the same sentence as runs scored. And
yes, it's pretty bad.
It's not good. The pitching's been fantastic. I think my favorite stat on SwingBadder that I mentioned was that the San Diego Padres had the least runs allowed with 95. That is excellent pitching staff to start the year. 95 is exquisite. The Texas Rangers are 131, which is not the best. It's not even close to the worst. But their runs scored is what is just the...
Yes.
So I would imagine that they looked at the minor leagues. They said, this individual is playing a lot better. He has a hot bat. Bring him up. You need any hot bat you can get at this point. It just feels like everyone's rutting in mud. So who are the big matchups this week that you have to look forward to for Texas? And again, your pitching's been lights out. It continues to be the strength of the team. And I always believe that your hitting can come and go. The pitching that's been consistent means Texas is still a contender, and they shouldn't be written off.
Yes, as long as this pitching continues to go the way it does, which I'm confident that it will, because, we're a good 30 games into the season. The pitching has stayed solid. It's stayed consistent. It's been reliable. There haven't really been very many injuries. And I think that's going to stay the same way for the rest of the season. And obviously, an offense will not, this offense on paper, just simply statistically, it's almost impossible, like I've said, that they will stay this bad for this long. So I think it's only a matter of time, as we've said before, that this all evens out. But again, we'll have to wait till the 40-game mark. And over this next week, they're playing the Red Sox, Tigers, and Rockies. I think the Red Sox and the Tigers will be the big series because both of those teams, especially the Tigers, very dominant, especially the Tigers, as I said. They've got a very good offense. They've got a lot of really good young players. It's a 3-game series. They absolutely need to win that, to just win back the hearts of the fans and also to prove that they actually have what it takes to beat the good teams, because they have not. I don't think they've won a single series against a team with a winning record this year, except maybe the Rays.
So just to reiterate what you're going into, the Boston Red Sox are a 500 team, and they are a good team, and they play very good baseball. For runs scored, they're 179. Runs allowed is a little higher with 160. The Detroit Tigers are the buzzsaw of the American League. They are the best team right now. They have the best hitting. They have the best pitching as well. Great combination. They have the plus 63 run differential, which is a very enjoyable
Very impressive.
So the Detroit Tigers, Texas Rangers is a series to watch for you because you want to see as the team coming back. Going back to the hitting coach, Brett Boone is the older brother of Aaron Boone. He also played for the coach of the Rangers when he was on the Padres. So they have a history. He has played it. He has worked as a scout, and he's worked as a couple other items, but he has played professionally. He has the baseball pedigree. He's been around the whole entire system, if you will, and clearly this is not an unknown. This is somebody that the coaching staff knows. But again, are we just talking about paint? Is it really the hitters that are going to show up? I mean, do they go to the Tigers and get just destroyed in this series? It makes everyone feel like, what are we doing? Are we even competing? That would shock me. So the Texas Rangers, Detroit Tigers, if you're going to watch it, I would say kind of a must-see series for the Rangers.
Yes.
I think 100%. This is it, because the Tigers are a legitimately really good team, and you kind of get to measure yourself against them. And Texas, quite honestly, has come up empty on every measuring stick that you would imagine. So this is your chance to say, hey, we're back. We feel really comfortable. We feel really confident that we're going to be a contender, and let us run into this fire, if you will, because the Detroit Tigers are not easy.
Yes, and what would be a perfect follow-up after that is if we were to sweep the Rockies, who we play a 3-game series after that, and with the Rockies pitching staff being catastrophically horrible, it'd be really nice to see us score 20, 30 runs in that series, which is something that our offense desperately needs.
I think my dad would have commented, your grandfather, Papa Lemieux, would have said at that point, that's when you hire the new hitting coach, right before the Rockies. You don't hire right before the Boston or right before the Tigers. Go, oh, look, we got Rockies. We're getting a new hitting coach. I mean, the starting staff of the Rockies, I think they have 2 starting pitchers that the batting average against the starting pitcher is 360 and 380. That's the average. If you look at some of the Rockies stats, so the Rockies are historically bad. And I know you have numbers to prove this, but they've allowed 195 runs. That's not last. Miami's last. So if you're facing Miami and Colorado, look for all of your offensive numbers to come up, because Miami has struggling pitching, and so does the Colorado Rockies. Those two teams alone are struggling mightily. The other team that you should look forward to playing, because in your division, they just decided it's over. The Los Angeles Angels, I feel, have taken a left turn off the freeway. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games. I know you're 3-7, but you're 17-18. They're 13-20, and the Angels just look. You're upset about 113 runs. They have 117. Not much better. And they've allowed 181. That's minus 64 is really bad. It's really. So the Angels in your division, whenever you play them, you should get a sweep. You need the sweep against the Angels. And luckily, there's a lot of teams feasting on the Angels. So there are teams out there that you can feast on. The Rockies are one. But I'm going to tell you, I'm really interested to see what you think about the Texas Rangers and how they show up here. I think Boston is very telling, because Boston's they're not going to just roll over. They're a good team. And then you got Detroit, which is the best team right now in baseball.
Yes. And if we wanted to, go ahead.
Yeah. So what do you project this week is going to roll out? How well do you think you're going to play against Boston? How well do you think you'll play against Detroit? Let's take the Boston series first. What is your heart and what is your head thinking on this Boston series?
My heart wants to think that we take 2 of 3 from Boston, and Evan Carter will come up and do very well because he's getting called up from AAA now. He's going to be in the lineup now. He's replacing Leody Taveras, I believe, who has done absolutely nothing for this offense over the past 2 years. So that's what I hope will happen. What I think will happen, based off of what I've seen, is we'll take 1 of 3, but that one win will be a very encouraging win, as we're going to win by at least 5 runs. But the other 2 will be typical, as we've seen Rangers score 3 or fewer runs, like they've done in 60% of their games this season.
So you have, and then your head says 1 of 3. Now you go and play Detroit. Your heart wants to win that one as well. So if your heart is correct, you're 2-1 after Boston, and now you face the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit is difficult because we will have Eovaldi and DeGrom pitching against them in the last 2 games, assuming everything goes according to schedule. And if they pitch the way that they've been pitching lately, and our offense, gets rolling and rolls off of the momentum against the Red Sox, I totally think we could take 2 of 3 against the Tigers, both in my head and in my heart.
I think that the Tigers have a very lethal pitching staff as well. I'm trying to think of who they have. Who do they have scheduled? Because that may be some pitching matchups to just want to watch all day, every day. The first matchup is Patrick Corbin versus Flaherty, which I'm not going to lose sleep over that one. That's the game that I would be very nervous about losing right off the bat. Reese Olson against DeGrom. Reese Olson has a 3.03 ERA. So he's pretty good with a 1.22 whip, but he's no DeGrom. DeGrom does have the better stats than him. And then on Sunday, which is
Eovaldi versus Job.
Oh, so you don't even face their ace.
Yeah, so again, I feel like at this point with this Rangers offense, it doesn't really matter who they're facing. All that matters is their offense just figures it out, because I feel like once this offense figures it out, it doesn't matter who they're going to face. They're going to start scoring 5 to 7 runs a game. And right now, they've probably faced plenty of very below average pitchers and been completely, mowed down by them. But once I think this offense gets clicking, it won't matter. It's all about the slumps and the heights.
With your 2 aces against Detroit, which will be interesting because Detroit has a great offense. If you're 3-3 at the end of the week with Boston and Detroit, then you're going into Colorado. Are you feeling more confident?
Oh yes, totally. Playing 500 against those 2.
What would make you like through the roof would be 4-2. You'd be like, this is a great week, 4-2, especially at the weeks you just had. If you're 2-4, is it okay? 2-4 is okay, but 1-5 is terrible.
Well, the 2-4, it actually depends. If those 2 wins, we win by a lot of runs, and even just 1 or 2 out of those 4 losses, we still lose 7-8 or 9-12. then I would still consider that a win because that's at least showing signs that our offense is starting to ramp it up. Because it's a lot better for the Rangers right now to lose a game 7-8 than it is to lose a game 0-1. Just because it shows more overall team strength and team improvement. So I think it just is going to depend on the scores.
So if you're a betting man, what do you think you're going to see at the end of this week? You said you're hoping 3-3 is what? You're 1-2 against Boston and then 2-1 against Detroit with DeGrom and Eovaldi pitching.
I would bet 3-3. I have enough of faith because Eovaldi will pitch twice over these 6 games and DeGrom will pitch once, and so is Tyler Mahle. He will also be pitching, and he's been very excellent lately with I think a 1.1 ERA. So if you have, basically 4 elite pitchers going up against these teams and 2 of them against the Red Sox, which I'd argue is an inferior team, I'd say we could probably get 3 wins out of that.
I agree. I think 3 wins I'd be pretty happy with, but my expectation of a good team, which Texas is a good team, even though they haven't showed it, you guys should bring home 4 wins this week. And I know that's saying a lot against the Tigers, but to show you're back, 4 wins would be like we are back, and what your writing would be next week would be like we are back. Like, and
yes, that would very much
I'm
be
sure
a trend.
Even if you win 2 of those games, like 3-2, 4-2, because of the competition, Detroit's a legit team. If your pitching can hold them down and you guys can beat them, I'm saying right now that's a series. This Detroit series is going to be interesting because Detroit they're not playing bad baseball. They're
no easy outs against them.
Really good on offense. Like, they're going to be tough to get out, and they have some good pitching. You're not facing their ace, which is good news. But at the end of the day, my biggest concern is that first game with Patrick Corbin, because Patrick Corbin has been known to not be elite against some of the better teams. So
yes,
it would be bad. I mean, I'm not expecting greatness in the first game, but to your point, if you lose 9-5, 9-6 in the first game, I'm hopeful. Yeah. Then you go into the next games, and hopefully you can keep the runs going. So at the end of the week, you're hoping for 3-3. I'm hoping you go 4. 4-2 would be excellent. 2-4 would be a little discouraging, especially with those 4 pitchers pitching.
Yes.
That would be, you hope 3-3. One of them doesn't win, or then you get a win from another pitcher. Who's the bat that you want to see just ignite everybody? Are you hoping the minor league guy coming up, or do you have somebody coming in here this week who's going to get hot?
I'd really like to see Evan Carter come up from his long absence and just absolutely crush the ball, because last time we saw him was start of the season and last year, and he did not perform very well, and then he had back issues, so he's basically been out for the past year. But if you'll recall, in the 2023 postseason and also towards the end of the season that year, he was absolutely raking. And I just love to see that guy come out, especially since, Leo de Taveras has not been helping us. And even if he's only 100 or 200 OPS points better than Taveras, that's still such a major improvement overall in our offense. And just in terms of the morale of the team, I'd say.
Well, folks, there's your fantasy watch list for the Texas Rangers. Here's to hoping they go 4-2. Thank you, Aidan, for the inside reports of the Texas Rangers. Let's hope they get out of the batter 5. This would be good to get out of that list. You don't want to be on that list, baseball fans. And let's hope Texas can start to figure out the runs, because this pattern can't go on much longer. You can't have 20, 30 more games like this, because then now it's not an anomaly. Now this is who you are.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
We reach that 40-game benchmark. It's inching closer.
It's inching closer to, we know who you are, you told us who you are. As opposed to, no, I'm not that guy. I'm totally different. I'm a hitter.
Let me show it to you.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for SwingBadder, the Texas Rangers edition. And sadly, the Texas Rangers do fit into that SwingBadder category so far this year. We'll see if they turn it around as they face the Boston Red Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Looking forward to getting the popcorn out for the Detroit Tigers series. That will be excellent. As always, I'm your host, Brendan, and that is the Texas Ranger Insider, Aidan Lemieux. Thank you, Aidan. All right, everybody. Have a good one.